Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer. And here, give me one moment. All right. And let me stop that. All right. So, today we are going to talk about our younger women learning from the mistakes of the previous generation. And by the previous generation, I'm talking about my generation, the Gen Xers, and of course, the Boomers. You see, well, before I get into this, let me say what's up to everybody who got here early, the early birds. Let's see. All right, we have adult supervision, Wash Gamer, and let's see, Canis. Greatly appreciate you all. Appreciate you all. If you're the person that sent me the video, go ahead and shout yourself out. And also, when you want to send me videos to cover, I greatly appreciate those. I don't really have time to look for them myself, but if you want to send me videos, go ahead and leave in the section, in the email, if you want me to shout you out, and I'll go ahead and do that. So, but yeah, let me just make sure everybody's hitting that like button. All right, I should have 2 more likes than what's here. And let me just check while y'all work on those 2 likes. Let me check something else. One moment. All right. Hit that mute button. All right. So yeah, Wash Gamer channel, greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the link. So I don't know if this chick is a gamer girl or not. And maybe that's what's going on. All right. So okay. All right. Give it a couple of more minutes. All right. Okay. So thank you everybody for coming. Now, let's see. All right. So before I get started, I just want to say something about this girl here, this young lady. She's 26 years old. She is what is considered to me to be 1990s pretty. Don't get me wrong, she's pretty for today's standard. However, she has a look about her that had we lived in a society, had she grown up in a society that wasn't oversaturated with Photoshop filters and, just this Instagram perfect bodies out there, that just got a lot of young dudes' imaginations all over the place, she would be pretty. She would be like somebody that you would look for and be happy to see. But I got a feeling that young dudes probably don't see her the same way because the fantasy world that the internet has created for them doesn't really add up. Would they still hit? Yes. Would they appreciate her the same way? Probably that we would have when we were younger? Probably not. Probably not. But that's a whole separate issue. So, but yeah, the main issue here is, are younger women learning? Now, we've all heard, what's her name? Crystalline Russell, and her whole situation, how she believes that black don't crack, therefore we age 10 years behind everybody else, so we have an extra 10 years. This young lady here is not behaving as if she has an extra 10 years, and rightly so. She's not saying, I'm going to wait till I'm 36 because, I'm black and black don't crack, and I'm going to look this way. That would be the worst thing she can do. So they are learning. Fewer and fewer are waiting until like right before the wall before they actually get serious about dating, mating, and looking for situations. They're not focusing on my career as much as they were in previous generations. They are learning, and they're learning from the mistakes of the older women who are online complaining, bitter. They're not really getting it from the manosphere. I'm getting that impression. They're not really getting it from the manosphere. What they are getting it from is the women's sphere, really. It's the women who are out saying, you know, so, and they're still not admitting that they did something wrong. They're just expressing that they're unfulfilled through their complaints. Which the more intelligent younger women are going to say, okay, you're unfulfilled because you chose this path of life. You chose to put career before family, and these are the results. But before I go any further, let me just play the clip. Fair use, fair use.
So, I'm tired of being single. And I figured I would just get on here and rant about it to you all because I love you guys so much. Subscribe Squad. You guys are my part of my support system, right? And so part of this is my fault, right? Because in the past I've picked some terrible picks. Whoo! Terrible.
Okay. I'm glad that she admits this. Now, depending on how terrible, I don't really fault younger women for making bad relationship decisions because you're young. You're supposed to make some mistakes. In fact, to avoid this, that's why some cultures have it to where the parents pair you off. But that has its own problems. Not as severe as, you know, getting pregnant by Little Wayne. However, there are some problems with that system. I don't expect her to be perfect. However, if you know, had she gotten pregnant by a homeless man or something like that, then I would question, like, is she deliberately self-sabotaging? If she made a couple of mistakes in the past, okay, no big deal. You're still reasonably young.
We're not even going to talk about that. Well, we're just going to talk about kind of just being single in quote unquote LA, even though I'm not technically in LA. I'm out here or whatever. It's terrible. I mean, look, I honestly feel like I'm not asking for too much. Here's what it is that I'm asking for, so I could be clear, right? I want somebody over 6 feet. That's what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to tall people, and
Okay. Bad news for the, you know, shout out to the Andersons, the Edward Andersons, the Obsidians out there, you know. Bad news for you. I get it. Women like her do exist in this world. She wants somebody who's 6 feet and over. And I'm not saying this because I am 6 feet or that I'm particularly interested in her in that way. That's not the case. I'm saying this to say that that is a pretty reasonable criteria, considering that the average height for a man is 5'10", and she's asking for 2 inches over that. That's not that's not an unreasonable request. If she had to have one physical requirement, that is a reasonable requirement. So far, so good. Somebody says strike two. Maybe. I mean, listen. Ideally, we want our women to, on their 18th birthday, go out and start looking for a guy based solely on productivity, intellect, and work ethic, and desire to you know, provide for and maintain a family. Ideally, that's what we want. I never really expect anything to be ideal. I don't. So, yeah. Okay, so Red Pill Brother says only 15% are over 6 foot. Are you sure about that? The only reason why I'm asking is because if the median is 5'10", it would suggest that 35% of people is between 5'10" and 6 feet. Like there's a huge amount of 5'11" people out there. So I can't say that that can be true. You know, that's a huge range for, I mean, I'm not certain how steep or how flat the bell curve is, but that seems a little bit too steep. All right. No, it's 5'10". It's 5'10", 5'5" for women. Maybe different countries. I'm not sure what country you guys are from.
And people are like, oh, that's so superficial. I'm like, look, it is what it is. It's just like there's some men who are not attracted to heavier females, right? That is just a thing.
Now, that's a false comparison. Even though I don't fault her for having just one base, physical requirement, that's a false, because a guy can't control his height, a woman can't control her weight. So, guys who say I'm not looking for an overweight woman really is being more sensible, because he's basically saying any woman can get it, providing certain effort. You're not saying any man can get it. There's, according to these stats, 85% of men who simply can't.
I know that we've been conditioned to like taller men, blah, blah, blah. I want my dude to be over 6 foot. So I already know off top that kind of eliminates people. Mind you, I am 5'9", so it's not like I'm short or whatever. Like 5'10" is not really taller than me. 5'11", not really. 6 foot, that's like, I could see that you're taller than me, and I just like looking up. Like, that's a thing. That's a thing for me, right? So there's that. I don't really have a race requirement as far as like nationality. I'm open to like whatever nationalities, right? Okay, cool. I want somebody who has their stuff together. Like, this is the issue that I keep finding. It's like,
okay, so far it's not really impossible. I am going to say it's improbable considering where she lives, in a suburb of Los Angeles, but I'm going to say it's highly improbable, and I'll explain why in a moment. But what she's asking for, considering that she's willing to date the ugliest person alive as long as he's 6 foot or taller, and she only wants base stability, and race isn't a factor, which opens her up to, a larger number of the melting pot of Los Angeles. So far, it would seem as if she should have no problem finding it. Now, what a lot of young ladies, especially in previous generations, have done in her situation is, oh, there's over 1 million people in Los Angeles. Half of them are men, and I am interested in 5% of them. Therefore, my odds are looking pretty freaking good. Yeah. Let's continue.
find somebody hella attractive, right? Like over 6 foot, but they like, at least the people I've encountered. I know there's people out there. I know they are. I just said, look, this is why we're having a conversation, is because I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out. I'm tired of being single. It sucks being the person who's in the position to be ready to be in a relationship and ready to build something with somebody, and just to continue to not find somebody to build with, if that makes any sense. Because it's like, it's so basic for me at 26. If I'm gonna date somebody who's my age or older, I think, to be honest, I'm probably gonna end up having to date somebody 29, 30 to find this. Probably. I've been ready for so long. I've had my stuff together for, that's the problem. Most men are.
Okay. So I want you to take the population of Los Angeles, and then I want you to remove all of the guys who are 6 foot and under. And then I want you to remove, keep all races of guys there. Remove the guys who don't have their quote unquote stuff together. And then remove the guys who, what was the last thing she said? Dang, I forget. Hold on. Let me go back like 7 seconds.
Probably. I've been ready for so long. I've had my stuff together for so long. That's half of the problem. And most men are kind of just now getting their stuff together. But
oh, that's what she said. She said she wanted somebody between like 26 and 35. That is a huge cut right there. Like, if you take all the adult men from 18 to 88, a 60-year difference, or excuse me, a 70-year difference. So of all those 70 years, you're dealing with those who are within that 5-year bracket. That is a huge cut. That is a huge cut. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't even think that she's, bad on it. I do think that she is, I think that she's flexible. Any woman who says something like that really means between 25 and 35. Just like if she says 6 foot, she probably means like 5'11". I think that she probably can stretch a little bit. But the pool is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. However, her requests are still not unreasonable. They're still not unreasonable. Let's get the likes up. Let me see. Yeah, we're at 60%. I want to see at least 75. So let's get that likes. Let me get them likes up. Hold on, let me do some math. I need 16.
Basic requirements: have your own car, have your own place. If you're out here in LA and you have a roommate, at a certain age, it slides because it's expensive as hell out here. Like, I understand that.
I had a roommate at her age.
Be either in your career or actively working on your goals. Okay, like actively working towards your goals. So that means that, oh no, I'm trying this out. Inspiring. No, I don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that. You're either in your career, maybe you're not where you.
I'm not sure what she means, but it still seems reasonable. Like, actively working on your goals could be anything. Like, you have a mixtape out or something like that. That could be considered actively working on your goals. You went back to school or something. I'm not certain what she means. Like, at what level is she expecting a guy to be on? Because even though there are a lot of guys who aren't actively working on their goals, however, they present themselves as such. Like, I'm working on my music career and, I have equipment, so it looks like I'm actively working towards that end, but not really. It's not active, or it's not aggressively pursuing that goal, if that makes sense. Yeah, like starving artists, things like that. Like most guys are going to say, I'm actively working towards my goal. There's not really at her age. I was going to say there's the hoop dreamers who can't really play ball, but yeah, they're going to say something, mainly because women want to hear that. So at what stage, and I'm curious about this, not once again, not saying that her request is unreasonable, especially when, we hear about these Kevin Samuels callers who are like, 275 pounds and they lost weight, so they used to be 280 and yeah, now they're just on their way. It only took them 10 years to lose that, So, and then they say, I want a guy that's 6'6", 6 figures with the 6-pack and stuff like that. So in the backdrop of that, nothing she really said is unreasonable. She wants a guy that can provide for her at present or in the future. Someone who's stable. Her only physical requirement is that he's over 6 foot. She hasn't really requested anything unreasonable. I can't pin that on her at this point. Especially, once again, looking at what the previous generation is asking for. That's just stupid.
You want to be at, but you're in that thing, right? Regardless if it's entrepreneurship, if it's a literal job, military, don't care. You're doing it on a daily basis and you're just building on top.
Okay, so she did clarify. I only seen this once before. So she did clarify. Basically, as long as it's something that you're doing on a regular basis, it isn't something like you wake up in the morning and you are doing something that's towards your goal. And yeah, that's perfectly reasonable, especially at this age.
top of that and expanding on top of that. You must be able to take care of yourself. Like these are basic requirements. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Oh no, I'm not pulling out my card no more. I'm not paying for squat diddly doo. Now, mind you, if we're in a relationship and you don't have to pay for me all the time, we could split or whatever. But it would be nice if I had somebody who could take care of themselves and occasionally, hell, take care of me. When it's time for me to get married, you're gonna need to be able to like contribute, freaking bring something to the table. And on top of that, I want to be intellectually stimulated. This is the other issue that I run into. People don't have anything to talk about.
Okay. Again, not an unreasonable request. I seen a meme today where, the dude was trying to talk to her like, what you doing? Nothing. How you been? Fine. You can't really build a conversation off of something like that. So basically, she wants to speak to an excellent conversationalist, which is reasonable. It does, however, and this is going to sound somewhat racially biased, it does, however, eliminate a lot of brothers from her selection pool because, and it's not for anything natural within us. It's just because of the lifestyle, how we're raised and things like that. We're not really raised to have a number of interests, a number of extracurricular activities, because growing up, these things cost money, and the parents weren't footing the bill like that. Like music lessons or something like that. These things cost money, and these things also build conversations and connections with people in the future. However, it's not many hood raised kids that can talk about horseback riding or can bring that new unique experience to somebody because they weren't horseback riding when they were a kid. Because there aren't any horses in East Oakland, California. Just is what it is. So God damn. All right, more likes, please. Hit the like. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't hit the refresh button. Hold on. Hold on. It's refreshing. Nope, it's even worse. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's so many more people watching than it is actually hitting the like button right now. You hit the like, you press it, it turns blue. If it's already blue, don't press it again. You continue this process until the number of likes increase to an acceptable range. That's what you do. You click the link to get in here. So you understand how the clicking process works. You and see, here's the thing. And I know this complicates it for you non-like button clicking motherfuckers. The thing is that, get this, it don't necessarily have to make a clicking sound in order for you to click it. That's right. It is possible for you to hit the like button without making a clicking sound, because not everybody has a mouse that clicks. So if you're sitting there saying, something, I want to click the mouse, I want to click the like button, but I don't have a mouse that make a clicking sound. Guess what? That's okay. You can just point to it and then hit the leftmost activate key on whatever type of mouse system you are using. Do that, and then it will turn blue, and you don't do it again. If you do not have a mouse button, by hitting the tab button over and over again until the thumbs up portion is lit, and then pressing enter will also do the trick. Thank you kindly.
Nothing. And I get bored. I'm like, wow, so this is it. This is all you do, huh? This is it. This is your life right here. You have nothing else to talk about. You have nothing at all to add. We can't talk about politics. Just something intellectual. This last book you read. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about a book? Can you teach me something? Like, I'm tired of teaching everybody everything. Teach me something. I am.
And once again, thanks a lot, Melody. This is where a lot of brothers are at an extraordinary disadvantage. Because, you know, like with the horseback riding example, just don't have it like that.
Dying to learn something from somebody that I'm having some type of dating interaction with. Please. Pretty please. Like, I'm literally tired of bringing everything to the table. I bring the table sheet, the foods, just everything to bring something to the table. Right? And then look, like, on top of that, it's just like, stop playing.
I'm going to be honest. I never heard the word table sheet used before. Until right now, I didn't know what a table sheet is. I called it a tablecloth. Maybe it's new, younger people vernacular, but I've been calling it a tablecloth all this time. Go figure.
Games. I don't have time for this. I'm straight to the point. I would prefer to date somebody who doesn't already have children. Sorry, been there, done that. Not happening. It's a no.
Okay, now she's reducing the mating pool further. Somebody who doesn't already have children.
No for me, big dog. That would be my preference. It would be nice to start with somebody built fresh. Is it an absolute no if they have kids? No. But it's just not a preference. So why am I going to start at something that's already not a preference? Like, that makes no sense for me. I'm like almost convinced that I need to move out of the state. I just need to leave. Like, because it's not that, and mind you, I would.
You know, it's weird. Because even though they don't look like her, and I'm pretty sure you brothers in the South have felt it by now. Even though they don't look like her, there has been an exodus of California women that go to the South. I'm going to be honest, we don't miss them. We don't miss them. But a lot of our cardio compromised women are heavier women do move to the South. They go where they are celebrated, where they are called thick, or they're called red bone, or something like that. Whatever positive affirmation that they give to bigger women in the South, they move there for that reason. They move there to find a hardworking brother who is looking for someone to die with, and he doesn't mind a little extra cushion for the pushing. I have noticed that. Like, I was talking to my partner. By the way, for those of you who don't know, on Fridays, which is why you don't really see me here much on Fridays, is because I mentor a group of youngsters. And one of the parents with math and science, and one of the parents' husband, even though he's the parent too, but it's anyway, it's complicated. Anyway, we was talking about this, and he mentioned that all of his sisters moved to the South just to find a dude. To find, a dude that she described, but older. And he showed me their picture, and they all were big. They all were big. So I can understand, especially a woman like her, especially in Los Angeles, why she would want to move. Like, why the pickings of men will be better in Mississippi and Nolans and Alabama or in Florida. Like, I get it. And more power to you. I wish you the best, the best, the best. I want you to find happiness because, like I say, this young lady does not have unreasonable requirements. In fact, if it wasn't for the kid thing, she messed with Fantastic. Oh, not Fantastic, his age, just like mine.
Much rather be dating the right person. Like, I'm not in a rush to get married. Yeah, is it a thought though? Yeah, it is a thought. Like, how would it not be a thought of 20?
Yes, you are. But I'm glad that you admit that you're thinking about it. Previous generations would not admit at your age that they were thinking about it. They will wait till they're 46 and say 46 is the new 26. No, you're 26 now. You're not 46. Okay, I'm gonna read this Cash App, and then I'm gonna address somebody who said something. If you're having a problem as a woman attracting or picking productive men, you are garbage. I'm gonna challenge that. I'm gonna challenge that after, and we could talk about a movie night, or maybe even I'll open up this stream. However, I'm gonna challenge that because it's harder than you think. It's easy for a man to say, if I had titties, I would have no problem finding and securing a long-term mate. It's easy for us to say that being tittyless. It's easy for us to say that knowing that we can't at any time sleep with 90% of the population, and I'm pretty sure she can. But it's a little more nuanced than that. And I noticed this through my millennial family members and friends, female friends, some of whom have never had a boyfriend. And many of whom have just stopped really just stopped altogether because there's no real avenue to find one. They haven't really found a healthy trail to this end. But we'll get into that. We'll get into why she's in this situation. It's not entirely her fault.
Like, it's for sure thought. I would much rather marry the right person than rush and just marry somebody to be marrying somebody. I'm at the point in my life where I can't just sleep with people. So I'm not out here just sticking and moving and stuff. In order for me to have some type of sexual interaction with you, I have to have some type of an emotional connection with you. I'm too old for that. I don't have time for that. I'm not going to sit here. We're not going to waste our time just hooking up. It's just like, it's out. It's just all the way out. So thus, I get in this position where I'm just single, which is okay because at the same time, I'm focused on what it is that I need to achieve.
It's not okay. And I know, and this is where the programming from the previous generation still exists. It's not okay at all. Just like it's not okay for a person to be, say jobless, an adult who's not in school or anything like that to be jobless, or homeless, like I was at some point in my life. This is not okay. This is not an okay situation to be homeless. It means that you have a very severe problem in your life that you must work on. Now, even though she admits that it is a problem, she's saying that it's okay, but not really for herself. She's saying that it's okay because she don't want to insult or discourage other single women out there. Hit the like button.
I'm always focused on what I need to achieve. I'm always executing my ideas and continuing to execute my plans and growing and everything else that I have going on. But this is what a rant is about. It's about frustration. So it's just like, is everybody who's loyal, doesn't cheat, have a job and like all that, are they all under 6 foot? Like, if they are, just tell me and I would just have to get rid of that, right? Like,
now, so she's flexible. And there you go. There you go to, you fellas who are 5 foot blank. She is flexible. Obsidian makes the argument, and shout out to him. Hope he feels better. Obsidian makes the argument that, look, it's their own fault for having like these height demands. And Obsidian is, I think, like 5'7". And I could get how that would be a boon to him. And, you just walk around thinking that women are just like, these shallow creatures that only want to F 7 foot tall dudes. I get that, but that's not the case. It's just a cosmetic desire. It's a cosmetic desire, kind of like people like C cups or D cups. We would like a D cup, but really you got a cute face, slim waist with a big bank. You're not really, you're flexible. It's like nobody's going to turn down Capri Styles or Kelly Stamps. Nobody is turning them down. Nobody's really kicking them out the bed because they're smaller upon the breast. At least I'm not kicking them out the bed, but I'm not from the South. So yeah, it's not a deal breaker is basically what she's saying. If she could find a decent, ambitious, productive man, then it's okay.
Like, please tell me, do they all have kids? Like, did somebody out here pull the rug and just be like, yo, this is what it is you're about to encounter? No, that's not happening. That's not happening. I don't think so. And so thus I'm at the point where it's like I refuse to settle for anything less than what it is that I deserve. Because I know what it is that I could bring to. Like, I'm bringing so much to the relationship. I'm gonna change your whole life, bro. Like, I'm gonna take you up 10 notches. And it's not a sexual thing.
Now, it is interesting that she says that this in particular is what she's bringing to the relationship. And that is, she can help you advance in life. Which means that she will align her desires with yours. That's a very interesting take that she has compared to the previous generation, the boomer generation, who brought temporary pussy to the table, and the Generation X, who claim that they are the table and therefore they don't bring anything. Her answer was actually quite welcoming. At that age, I would love to have had somebody whose sole focus was to see me advance further. I shouldn't say sole focus, but she was focused on helping me advance further. Understanding that the time that it takes to get my own sandwich could be better spent, studying a new language or something, a new developing language or something like that. That's actually extraordinarily valuable to a man of the age bracket that she's looking for. And this is in any career, whether he's a medical student or something like that. This is, little old for athlete, but, no matter what it is, she's like, I will aid you in your dream. I will help you fulfill your dream, which is a lot more valuable than pussy. And she led with that, which shows that she really has wisdom and an understanding of what men want that surpasses women twice her age. I do find this fascinating, that in spite of being raised by generations of idiots, that she came out of it like, okay, if you want to bring 52-year-old pussy to the table and demand everything, that's fine. I'm going to offer a man a future, and in exchange, I will share in that future. So she is more reasonable than, the hit the like button, please, than the previous generations.
Like, hey, mind you, that's fire too. But
she's talking about her sex. She's saying that in addition to sex, I offer this.
It's like, it's an emotional connection that I'm going to bring to the table. On top of that, just how I'm going to help you.
That's not a real thing. It's not a real thing, and it holds no value.
You build, like, that's why I say, just bring something. and I could take whatever it is you have, and I could help you turn that into a $1 million or $1 billion empire.
That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Notice how she did this subconsciously. Notice how she used the word help. She understands that her position is as a helpmate. She is not saying that I am looking for a man to help me advance. Bitch. She's not saying nothing like that. She's basically expressing I am looking for a helpmate. I am looking for a person to help me in this way, and it would be nice if he's 6 foot. Or excuse me, I'm looking for a person that I can help build his dreams, and it would be nice if he's 6 foot.
I've no like whatsoever do I question that. Like I'm gonna you in that, but I don't want to have to motivate you to do things. I want somebody who's already motivated to go after. Maybe they just need somebody else to be the glue, and I could be the glue. And I guess essentially what I'm looking for as I wrap up this rant is the male version of myself. And that's probably the problem is that there's only one me. Like, so maybe I'm looking for something that doesn't exist. Like in,
That's not the problem.
I don't know, but or I could just be around the wrong people, and I'm not in the right circles to where I'm gonna find this person or encounter this
That's not the problem either.
person that I'm looking for. But I am putting it out there though, because there's that. And it's not a desperation thing. It's more of a just I'm just look, today's Friday, July 23rd, 2021, and I'm frustrated. I'm tired of being single. I'm tired of dealing with BS and buffoonery. I'm tired. I'm just sick and tired. Like, no. To the point where I just ask all my deal breakers from the jump. Okay, what do you do for your living? How tall are you? Do you have any kids? What are your goals? Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, that is the problem. That is the problem because you're approaching the situation from that of authority. Now, these things will eventually come out. It's kind of showing you are impatient and demanding. That is like, who wants to be grilled on upon meeting? Like, hey, you look cute. I'm digging the nose ring. Okay, so what do you do for a living? Like, how tall are you? And like, who wants that really?
Boom, get all that out the way. I don't even hop on the phone with you unless I have the answer to those questions because I'm not even gonna waste my time. I'm just not. I'm not gonna waste my time anymore. Essentially, is what I'm saying. And yeah, but I think that'll change exactly when it's supposed to change. I still have A school left this year. I go to A school.
I'm guessing A school is art school because I see the guitars and stuff in the background. Don't know what A school is. Or at least I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing that it's art school and she's some type of artist.
In October. Maybe I meet my husband up there. Like who knows? Nobody knows the way my life is gonna set up. I have so many dope things going on for next year. I don't know what's in store for me, but what I do know is that I shouldn't have to lower my standards for how I feel like I should be treated in a relationship in order to uh, find companionship or be happy. So maybe you know somebody you can link me with, preferably somebody who lives in Southern California, um, or willing to move.
Preferably, really?
I'm literally thinking about like moving, but it's not just for that reason. It's for other reasons too. But like, all right, if this time next year and I'm feeling the same way I'm feeling now, I might just up and move to a whole different state. Like, who knows? I don't know. But I'm tired, sick and tired of being single. Mommy's calling, so I gotta go. That's my rant. Comment them below. We can have a conversation. Hey, mommy.
All right. And that's that. Okay. So here is the problem with this um, woman and why this woman is having the trouble that she's having. Um, Her requests are not entirely unreasonable. The most unreasonable thing about it was the height requirement. And even that is respectable. It's not outlandish. She's not saying something like 6'6" or something like that. She's not limited it to like a ridiculously small percent of the population. Outside of the height requirement, everything that she's asked for is something that each and every single one of us had at some point. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. Each and every single one of our grandfathers meet. You see, there was a time when men that she described were of abundance, that they all were just, on their 18th birthday, they all had a clear understanding. They all were just cut from the same cloth. We're going to work and we're going to provide for our family. And we're just going to do this nose to the grindstone, 30 years, no vacation. I come home as long as dinner is cooked and the kids are behaved. I'm not going to think about anything. I'm going to read the paper and I'm going to continue to process the next day. That is what she's looking for. She's looking for a modern, old-time man. Besides the height thing. And if you just so happy to be, 6 foot tall, then, hey, that's an extra added bonus. So she's not looking for anything that her grandmother didn't get at a much younger age. She's not. However, we don't live in that time anymore. And the criteria that she's looking for, whether it's focused on stability, doesn't really exist, especially not at her age. It doesn't exist in large numbers. And the reason for that is simple, really. It's not in a man's best interest for it to exist. You see, so many men have been taken by the system, by whatever, So many men have been abused in the modern system, mistreated, whatever you want to call it, that they really don't see any benefit to doing what our grandparents did, if your grandparent is a traditional. So they're like, okay, I'm going to do the player thing until I can no longer do it. Meaning, here's what I mean. Because I remember being her age. And I remember meeting a woman like that who I was physically attracted to at the time. And I don't know what she looks like now. Maybe I still would be. And she was Black. And at the time, crump dancing was in style, and that's what she did. She was one of those chicks that went to those bringing on, or what's it called, you got served type events, and danced like somebody hit her with a taser. She was one of those type of chicks. I was like, okay, I'll smash that. I worked with her, and she told me that she was engaged to a white guy who was divorced, and he had a couple of kids. And she looked at me and she said, I would have liked to have been with a Black guy my own age, but I haven't really found one that that I was cool with like that. And she kind of paused afterwards, kind of giving me the indication that she wanted me to shoot my shot. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I was physically attracted to her. If I shot my shot, I think things would have went my way. However, would I have engaged her? No. Was I looking to marry at that age? No, I wasn't. Because see, to me, she would have been just another chick that is holding a place until I find a hotter chick. But to this older guy, to this guy in his mid 30s, who's divorced, a couple of kids, he will treat her better than I ever could because she's more valuable to him than she could ever be to me. That's how I was seeing it at the time. To me, she's just another chick. To him, she's a PYT, exotical. She was light-skinned, exotical. But even if she was dark-skinned, she would be exotic relative to him being a white guy, who could come in and help take care of the kids. It's different stages in our lives. Now, why did I bring that up? And this is to you, number 16. Men are maturing a lot slower. A lot slower. And because, and by that, I mean, like back in the day, fresh out of high school, it was, on the purpose, get on the ball, no time for playing games, no time for that bullshit, get to work. Now and then slightly after that, it's like, okay, I'm going to play the field a little bit, but then I'm going to settle down shortly after college. Now it's like, now you hear guys in their 40s and in their 50s talking about, I'm going to play these games. It's like, oh crap. Like, what is she to do really? Now, of course, it's not evenly distributed, meaning that the number of guys who are saying this stuff in their 50s, is not the same as the number of guys who are saying it in their 20s, so I will say that, but still. See, that is a larger hurdle that she has to overcome, because even with all of the hurdles that she mentioned, all of the basic things that she mentioned that she's looking for, and she's flexible on the height. Even with that, she has to come across guys like myself at 26, who's not going to take relationships as seriously, who's not really looking, who's more, I'm not going to say I was really in the hookup culture, but I understood that was the existing culture of the time, meaning that most of the women were into that too. So, I mean, I left a lot of situations like, hey, I didn't know that you was actually serious. I didn't know that you was sexing with a purpose. I thought that you was on a carousel. How was I supposed to know? The behavior is exactly the same. So now that she's leaving, essentially, because she did say, I can't just sleep around anymore, meaning that she did spend some time sleeping around, she has to go out into a population who don't know that you're done sleeping around. They don't know that you're done sleeping around. She should have made it clear. Okay, hold on. Captain Cisco says, did she mention an income requirement? No, she just said working on your goals. Okay, she should have made it clear. Women never make anything clear ever, and they're never honest about anything, ever. And the only time that they are honest is when you are doing the exact opposite. Meaning that, okay, I understand that women aren't honest, meaning that they mean the exact opposite of what they say. And then that's when they'll be honest because they know that you're doing the exact opposite just to throw you off. Never are they honest. When they tell you what they want, they typically want something different. So yes, if a woman comes to you and says, oh yeah, I'm not looking for, a one night stand. Yes, 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 yes. Sometimes you are. Those words means nothing to men because they're never consistent. Ever. When they lead with I'm looking for this, this, and this, it may or may not be true. They can never make anything clear. It's just by nature of having a vagina, they can't make anything clear. They're cryptic by nature. So anyway, no matter what a woman says, it's there's no way to stop a dude from that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The mating climate is no longer there. See, let's just say 70 years ago, you was pretty much guaranteed the type of guy that she was looking for in church. And then maybe 40 years ago, it would be like at a nightclub or at a dance event of some sort, at a concert, at a disco, whatever was popular at the time. You was pretty much guaranteed to meet a semi-productive person at these venues. And, 10, 15 years ago online, you can go to Black Planet or something like that. And, you can still find a decent person. But now where does she go? And this is true for the fellas of our age too. Don't get me wrong. I haven't forgot about you. But right now there is a dude out there that is right for her. Y'all were saying that A school is something in the Navy. Maybe he's in the Navy, but who knows? But like, where do you go? Because really, he can't even like approach her while in the Navy because that's the workplace. So there's things that goes on with that. If he has like one rank above her, then it's a whole issue. So where can she go and where can he go? And that is the problem. So also, of the thousands of men that are in Los Angeles that meet her criteria, she might not meet theirs. See, women don't really stop to consider that maybe guys have criteria too. We really have a very small set of criteria when it comes to sex because that is value received, not value given. But we have exceptionally large criteria, at least I do, for long-term relationships because that's value given. I have to give value, meaning I have to give time, effort, and energy. Now, to her credit, this individual millennial's credit, she does offer a lot and ask for little. She basically is saying, listen, I'm low maintenance when it comes to time. In fact, I will give you more time to focus on whatever you're doing. I will be, the helpmate that God has promised mankind. Not really each individual man, but that God has promised mankind. I will give you those things. So, yeah, here, one moment. Okay, there we go. So that's where she's at with that. Let's see, military relationships are not good. They have. So basically, she is a victim. And her male counterpart is a victim of all the crap that the previous generations have gone through. There has become so much risk and very little reward from traditional relationships for so long that really all that's left is hookup culture. In fact, there are a lot of guys out there that don't understand relationships outside of that. and she's going to come across these guys. And I've seen it with so many young ladies. So I give an example, right? A couple of Thanksgivings ago, my mom, I was over my mom's friend's house, and I haven't seen this woman in years, and having Thanksgiving dinner there. And like her daughter, who I haven't seen since she was maybe like 9, 10, of course, by then had grown up into a woman. And she was pushing like 30, maybe a little older than this chick here. I was like, oh, wow. Um, she grew up to be attractive. Not going to push up because that's not really appropriate, but I was thinking that like, oh, she grew up to be attractive. That's good for her. And then she told me she never had a boyfriend. I was like, what? That is strange. Like, why would that be? Like, what series of circumstances would cause that? What would make that the case to where, she reached this age in life? And I'm like, oh, if you take away like all the guys that just want to smash in her age group that just want to smash, then there really isn't much left. If you take those guys away, plus you take away the guys who don't just want to smash, but she has no way of determining if they just want to smash or not. Well, the only way she has to determine is by smashing them and seeing if they stay. And she can't really do that because then she's on the carousel. So it is like an impossible situation. It is a very difficult process for young ladies to get out of. And the reason why I bring this up is so the young ladies know that, listen, it's not easy. And really so you fellas know, it's not really easy. It seems easy because boobies mean that they never really have to spend a night alone. It means that they have something to offer, and there's always somebody willing to receive it. Boobies is a bait. However, there is no hook. You can feed fish bait all you want to. Without a hook, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to catch one. And you're dealing with a population or a school of fish, whatever you want to call it, that don't really want to be hooked. It's sophisticated. Imagine a fish with hands that just, sat there and just like, meticulously took the worm off the, that is the new generation of men. And that's the generation of men, quite frankly, that I'm helping to create. I don't want y'all to get hooked. So she has that problem. She's going to have to go on hopefully she don't, for her sake. She's going to have to kiss a lot more frogs than her grandparents did. Far too many. Now, because of boobies, she has plenty of frogs to kiss, unlike men her age and just men in general. She has a lot more frogs to kiss. And there'll never be a shortage of frogs to kiss. But she's going to have to kiss them. Not necessarily sleep with them, but she's at least going to have to spend time with a lot of, reasonable suitors to explore. And it sucks because time is the one thing she don't have. Listen, I did not make this. I did not make this situation for her. Even though I'm part of a generation that helped to contribute to this, I didn't make this. Everybody is confused. The young men are like, okay, should I Should I just focus on games? Should I focus on building myself? What should I do, in order to do this? Should I be a player and then, once my hair start falling out, then start taking relationships seriously? Should I marry the love of my life at 20? Even though so many relationships fail, within the first 5 years, if this chick divorced me, will she take half my stuff? Will she wind up being a baby mama? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many relationship issues and problems that younger generations have to deal with that the traditionals didn't on a man's side. And then on the woman's side, they have the same thing. Like, okay, if I sleep with him today, will he say I'm too easy? If I sleep with him tomorrow or the next day, will he say I'm prudish? I really like this guy. I really don't like this guy. If I help build his career, will he leave me for a white girl? They have like all this, or if she is white, it's like, will he leave me for a foreign girl, or will he leave me for a younger woman after I help build him to this point in life? There's so many and so much of that going on in both parties' brain that when two people meet each other, it takes time to unpack that. Now, what do I mean when I say time is the one thing that she don't have? She is younger, hotter, sexier, childless, right? And that means that she has more time and more opportunity than many others. Still not much time. Let's take her back some years, right? And let's just say she was 20 years old. And she had until 30 to determine if she is, to actually find a mate. That's her goal. That's 520 Saturdays, meaning she can either go out with, she could go out with a series of guys in that amount of time, 520. It's not that much, really. Every Saturday, that she spends making a YouTube page, that's one Saturday burnt. Now you have 519. So she already burnt like 7 years of that. And now she's like at 150 or so. What, like 155, somewhere in that neighborhood? See how little time she has? Now, she still don't want to, admit entirely that, listen, this is a problem. This is a problem that I have to take drastic measures, including like leaving Los Angeles in order to solve. But she still says, oh, it's okay to be single. It's not. You are in, I think Kevin Samuel says the danger zone for her will start next year. So you are soon to be in the danger zone, and you have to take relationships extraordinarily seriously. Now, you are, to your credit, and what you're doing, because you are getting this heightened sense of urgency, is you are being short with the men. You're saying to the men, okay, hurry up. I only got 150 weekends to go before I'm 30. So hurry up, tell me your stats, and, plead your case on if I should support you or not. And you say you only want to sleep with a man that you have a connection with, but you do have to understand that it takes time to build that connection with that man. And it also takes time to determine if you don't have a connection with that man. So no matter what, each man you meet is going to take some time. So through all the guys that want to F you, you can only reasonably even find out the basic information of about 150 of them. And if it takes 3 weeks to determine if there's a strong enough connection to be with him or not be with him sexually or otherwise, if it takes 3 weeks to do that, you really can only see by the time that you're 30, you can really only see 50 guys. And out of the, like, really it's hundreds of thousands of men in the Los Angeles metropolitan area that want to sleep with you, you have to pick 50. Fellas, listen at her dilemma. Life's not easy just because you got titties. You have to pick 50 of them. You have to narrow it down to 50. First, you got to find them, then narrow it down to 50, and then narrow it down to 1. And then hope that that 1 feels the same way about you. Outside of a fortunate series of events, it's not predicted to happen. Of course, it happens all the time, but once again, fortunate series of events. It's okay. A fortunate series of events is like a fortunate series of events is like the government mailing you a check, not for stimulus, but because you overpaid taxes. You overpaid taxes 4 years ago, and the government said, "Hey, my mistake. Here you go. You overpaid." That's a fortunate series of events. A calculated series of events would be if you go to work every day and the job gives you a check as a result of your work. You do something and, that's cause and effect. Because you worked, you receive this check. There isn't a cause and effect in place anymore. The old relationship contracts is dead. They're gone. They're done. Feminism killed them. Thanks to them. Feminism just killed the old relationship contracts. Now the thing that was damn near guaranteed, just like a job was, in the past, the thing that was damn near guaranteed is gone. And there's nothing in its place. Before, there was a time that, a young lady, if she followed a certain set of rules, she would find the guy that you described. And a young man who also followed a certain set of rules will get a young woman who was not overweight, did not have kids, and can cook. Like at the bare minimum, both parties would get that. A woman would get a hardworking man, and a man would get a non-overweight woman that can cook. That was the old contract. As long as you wasn't a coward, you had some religious / moral foundations. Let's see. And you had a work ethic. You was pretty much guaranteed those things. Now that contract is out the window, and there is nothing. There is no set template for this young lady. There's nothing that she can follow. Just like you go to a job and they give you money, it's damn near guaranteed to happen. That guarantee is no more. There's nothing she could do. And once again, she has to pick 50 guys out of the populations of tens, hundreds of thousands, and narrow that 50 down to 1. Hey, it's a feminist throughout the contract. Melody, what's on your mind?
Hi, GC. I was in and out, so I didn't really see everything.
Mhm.
But the answer to the title is yes. I think they are taking marriage more seriously than the previous generations.
Okay, so you're closer to that age group. You want to elaborate?
Well, yeah. We basically the boomers. I feel the
Mhm.
boomers messed it up. The silent generation was the real relationships, and then like you always say, the boomers came and messed it up for everybody. Generation X kind of got sucked into it. Millennials kind of got sucked into it, but I think because the younger generation want better for themselves, they want to follow the silent generation values again.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do think they want to get married. I see it. I hear it a lot from the young girls out here.
Now, what do you think the obstacles are for them to get married? Like the
Hmm,
main obstacles. Hit the like button, please.
good question. I got to think about that.
All right. So, well, what are some of the obstacles that you've had? Let's start there.
What that got in the way of
Well, I
me?
mean, you're not married, but you want to be married. So, what are the obstacles? What would you say are the things that are making it difficult?
Yeah, the obstacles that got in the way. Well, a lot of times the guys just want to fuck. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but
Mhm.
that's one of the things. Like when you're out looking for a date, guys want to come at you mode one, or they want to pretend they want to be with you, and then they want to just get in your panties. That's the main one for me. Guys
Mhm.
want to have sex, because when you're attractive, that's what the guys want. Or
They want it
another
when you're not attractive.
exact that was my next thing. Or they want to go after anybody. They
Mhm.
don't have any standards. They want the fat girls, they want the skinny girls, and I don't like that. I would rather a man with standards, because then you're not basically letting me know if I'm attractive or not. How will
Mhm.
I know if you're dating Lizzo? Like, why are we getting treated equally?
And not
That's
only that, you have to actually compete with Lizzo.
exactly. We got to compete with Lizzo. So yeah, black men not having any standards is one of the biggest obstacles. So yeah,
I can agree with that. So you want a guy with standards, but of course you want to meet the standards. Now, let me ask you this.
yes,
You mentioned that most guys just want to sleep around with you. And I talked about that in the show earlier.
hmm
How, as a woman, do you determine the difference between a guy who, because even the guys who want to be with you long term, they still want to sleep with you. So basically, you're trying to figure out, and this is her dilemma as well. Out of the thousands of guys that want to sleep with her in her area, in her metropolitan area, out of the 1,000 guys that want to sleep with her, she has to pick the ones that want to sleep with her and want a relationship. How do you do it?
that's a hard one. Well, I would go on a couple of dates with them before, like you can tell by the conversation. Um, some guys when they're talking, all they want to talk about is sex. That's the biggest red flag. Then other times guys really want to know about you. Like when you go on a date, they want to know about you, and they want to know, they just want to know about you. They don't want to say, "Oh, well, damn, you look good. Oh, those are some nice big titties you got." And you get what I'm saying. It's
Mhm.
definitely the conversation.
Uh,
Well, that's one of them.
okay. Okay. We'll put it like this. Do there exist guys who don't talk about sex but still only want sex?
They do exist, but
I mean, I think you're working under the impression that guys are really, really reasonably mode one.
I mean, I guess, okay, you got me there. I guess there's probably no way to tell if they want to have sex with you or not. Because, like you said, some guys don't talk about sex all the time, but they still want it, and that's it. And once they get it, they don't answer the phone anymore, and situations like that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Or they get it and keep getting it, because this is what I used to do. I would get it and keep getting it until I get tired of getting it,
Yeah,
or until I find somebody better. And by better doesn't necessarily mean significantly hotter. What it does mean is that she's better in the sense that I haven't gotten it until it got yet.
right.
Better in a sense that it's newer to me. maybe even not newer to the world. Like, you know, she's 26 and the one I was with is 24, you know, but like, you know, oh, I haven't smashed her yet means it's newer and fresher to me.
Exactly.
Now,
So, so
go for it.
GC, you being a man, can you tell me as a woman what to look out for?
No.
So you don't even know.
And nor would I. Because for one, I don't know. And for two, you know, it's not my place to do so.
Right.
You know, that is a woman's journey. That's a vagina quest. That's her path for penis. But you are on the right track. That you know that if they don't have any physical standards, then chances are they're when a guy doesn't have physical standards, he's really looking for a numbers grab.
Exactly.
Like he's looking for a cattle call.
He's
Cattle
silly.
call. Yeah. He's cattle calling. It's a numbers grab. It's a you know it's a meat market. Like that's why his standards was reduced in the process because you know he just kept looking for the next best thing. So that's one thing. But no, even that's not a guarantee. You know, because there's a lot of guys out there that want to smash a multitude um, of attractive women.
Right. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you believe in a 90-day rule? Because I think that's why a lot of women do the 90-day
No,
rule.
no.
I don't either, but I'm saying because I think that's a method women use to try to pick the right man because they know that a lot of men out here just want to have sex.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go to movie night.
Okay.
Okay. The thing about the 90-day rule, which is really stupid. I'm gonna start off with what Steve Harvey was saying when he first said the 90-day rule. He was saying in his country ass, like he was saying, you know, when I worked for the Ford Motor Company, they made a rule. They called it the 90-day rule, meaning that I didn't receive benefits until after 90 days. That way they were certain that the person was serious about the job and they won't just come get the benefits and leave. This helped ensure this was to help Ford ensure that they were dealing with somebody serious. And then I was sitting there thinking when he said that because I got this from the movie. What was it called? Maybe I'll do that on movie night one night. But what was this one called?
Which one?
About his book. Oh, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman.
Oh, yeah, I saw that movie. That was a good movie.
Yeah, or Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But he said that there, and I was like, but you don't work for Ford anymore. So Ford having a 90-day rule on you really didn't help secure an employee for the rest of his life, did it? Because the moment you had an opportunity for something better, read comedy, you quit.
Right.
Like that would make sense if you still worked for Ford. But you don't work for Ford. So the 90-day rule did not help Ford. Whether they had the 90-day rule or not, you still would have left them for comedy. It did nothing for Ford's advantage. Now, what it did do, what it does do for the disadvantage, and this goes back to the women, is you remember the numbers, and I'm not saying you because you're probably in and out, but you guys remember the numbers I just gave of how at 20 she has like 520 weekends read that she can date up to 520 guys. However, if she did the 90-day rule, then it's 4. That 520 goes down to 40. Between 20 and 30, throughout her entire 20s, she can only vet 40 guys. She will kill herself. Meaning that this girl here will be down to like 12 or 16. It's ridiculous. It will destroy your mating life. It's so, I don't want to say the R word, but it's so the R word.
Yeah, I agree.
Like you will kill your chances. That 50 will just go down to damn near nothing. It'll go down to like 15.
Right.
So yeah, that is the end of that. But yeah, so the 90-day so really there isn't a successful vetting process out there. It's it's almost a matter of luck, which
Exactly. But
go for
GC, why do you think the sloppiest, fattest, ugliest girls are the ones getting married and the pretty ones are single?
scarcity. Like men are feeling it on the other end,
Mm-hmm.
so it's scarcity.
Oh,
Like they're just like, okay, um I don't have a steady sexual source and I want a steady sexual source. So I'm going to marry this chick,
right.
you know.
And the pretty girls are left single. No husband.
Yeah, but they have criteria for a husband. Even though they're base criteria, there are qualities in a man that exist in larger concentration of men with standards that don't necessarily exist in the concentration of men without standards.
Right. Makes sense. But
You
y'all
know,
do
and
great.
these are the qualities that she was talking about. Focused on a goal and things like that. I mean, because when she says, have a goal or have ambition towards something, she means something other than something to F on, like something to sleep with. Like guys who are hyper focused on sex, so much so that they would, marry someone just for the sake of having a vagina, not really being attractive with one. It really means that their primary focus in life is vagina.
Right. Well, I kind of have a solution to the young women. Date older men.
I pause, Melody, because you dated an older man. Um, and this isn't a personal shot. This isn't a personal shot, and it could be a one-off. And yes, the young lady in question, she would have she would have a better chance finding a more relationship-minded man in his mid to late 30s or even 40s, or even 50s, like Kevin Samuel's age, than she would in her own age. I will agree with that. I just don't want people to see, and here's why I'm saying this, Melody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want young ladies to think that there is an easy answer, that all you have to do is do this and you'll be set. Because then they'll procrastinate. Take Miss Average at best. You know,
Right.
she feels that all she has to do is date older and things will be okay. And no, I am older and it won't.
No, but a lot of older men do want marriages. They do want a serious relationship. Whereas the younger men, they just want to, have sex.
No, true. Will your chances be better? Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
but I still don't want women to procrastinate and say, okay, when I'm 35, I'll just start looking for a 55-year-old. But until then, I don't have to take it seriously. You have to take it seriously day one. Like Anthony Mackie, he married his second grade sweetheart. She took it seriously. She took it seriously during finger paints. She's like, listen, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 7. I got I gotta hurry up. Like, I see this dude. I got a feeling he's gonna be like a Marvel superhero. So I'm gonna marry this dude.
Definitely. So Wash Gamer Channel had a question. He said, "Are the fat sloppy chicks being submissive and feminine?"
No.
No, but I think they do go harder because they are fat and ugly. So they probably do go harder to get a man. I do think that.
Oh, I see. So yeah, that could be true.
Yeah. Whereas the pretty girl, she's really pretty, so she's like, "Oh, I can get any man I want." So if you don't like me how I am, then oh well. A lot of pretty girls do think like that.
Hmm.
So
Well,
that
would you
could
say
be.
the chick in this video is pretty?
I think she's cute. I don't think she's beautiful or gorgeous, but I think she's cute.
Well, that's why I said 90s cute. Like, had Instagram not been invented, she would probably be like the pretty one on her block, wherever she lived.
Exactly. Yeah,
Or at
90.
least of the top two.
Right. She's a cutie. I
Hmm.
give her like an adjustable 6 or a 6.
Hmm.
But yeah, she knows she's cute and she knows she can have a large group of men. So she's just like she's probably not going as hard as a Lizzo would go for a man.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if bigger women are marrying at a higher percentage. It just seems that way because more women are bigger.
Yeah,
And
80%.
also like a lot of times the women start out small and then they pop out a couple of kids. I think that that's just a see, here's the thing, and this is what I noticed from like Pookie Ray Ray arguments and stuff like that with people. When you're not getting something, you assume that people who are not like you are. Like, and this goes for like the colorist people, when they're not getting the man that they want, they assume that the light skinned exotical is. They assume that the light skinned exotical isn't having any problems. Or when you're not getting the woman that you want, you assume that the educated lame is.
Right.
Or if you're a short guy and you're not getting the woman that you want, you assume that 6 foot tall guys is just slaying it out there. Like, oh, if you 6 foot, you just killing it. Or if you 6'5", you just killing it. You just snap your fingers and they just fall out the sky because you tall. Everybody's assuming that the other group is killing it, but really nobody's killing it like that.
Exactly.
And that's just because the old contract is thrown out. So, like even if you are a guy that gets 10% of the women that, you approach, you still not really, like, okay, even if you have a new chick every weekend, you still smash 52 chicks a year, where a married guy, where your grandfather, smashed your grandma 365 times a year. So
I would rather that.
yeah, so you're still not really getting it like that. Nobody's really getting it like that, but we all assume that everybody else is. I think that that's also maybe a misunderstanding, that the big girls are actually getting married like that because the pretty ones want to get married, but they just assume that everybody else is.
You know what's crazy? Every time I'm walking through the mall or I'm in New York or something like that, I do see a handsome man that's in shape with a big fat woman. I
Mhm.
always see it. And it's like they're married. She got the ring on. He got the ring on. It's like, damn. Like,
Yeah,
how?
but I'm saying because there's so many fat women that is going to be more of them. Like you're going to see more fat women in general,
True.
and married women are more prone to be fat. You know,
Or maybe she just had his baby. I mean, we don't know the circumstances
yeah.
of why.
So I'm just saying, like it seems like that. Like like oh wow, everybody else is this, and this, and yeah. When you want something, it seems like everybody else has it.
Or I was on another channel and they said, big girls are nastier than small girls. That's why the men are marrying them
Oh nah.
at such a higher rate.
Nah. I mean, well, it depends on what you mean by nastier, but I do know that small women
Right.
are enjoyable sexually.
Right.
Like I can't. Okay, put it like this. I don't think that there are things that big women do that small women haven't done, and nor have I ever come across a woman and I made a sexual. Don't get me wrong. I don't get all of my sexual requests met. But I have never made a sexual request to a woman and she says, "Oh no, I'm too small and pretty to do that."
Yeah, they was like, oh, they don't give head as good as the big girls do, or, you know, they they just think they're too pretty. They don't want to mess up their hair. They don't want to break their nails.
No,
Where's a
no,
big girl's freak
uh-uh,
there?
no, No, that's a lie. That's a lie. You're probably pretty enough to know that, but and I don't want to get into your personal life in that regard. But
Yeah,
nah.
no, I get it. I
Now,
definitely get it.
now I will say this. I will say this. Um, I've been to orgies in the past, and there they are. But you see, and this is why I just watch. This is why I'm more of a voyeur slash exhibitionist at orgies.
Uh-huh.
They're typically filled with bigger women and guys who are more handsome than the women are pretty. Now, they are exchanging that for sexual access, yes. But just because they're more willing to do stuff like participate in orgies and things like that, which doesn't improve the quality of sex on a one-to-one basis. It just means that they're more sexually available to you.
Uh-huh.
That, yeah, just because of that, that doesn't make it better. Like, listen, I can do it with this woman because she's bigger. Now that's true. They are more sexually available, but is the sex better? Nah.
So that's a lie.
I don't know if it's a lie because I haven't been with big women, but I mean, like, who cares? Who cares if she's more sexually available? Like, it's supposed to be because it's lesser value. And that's what it is. It's lesser value. That's like saying that ramen noodles is, easier to get than filet mignon. It's lesser value. Doesn't mean it tastes better. And I think that that's the misconception. They're trying to sell it as if it tastes better just because it's a lower hanging fruit.
Exactly. And you know exactly whose platform I was on where all of the men were saying that. Oh yeah, they're nastier. I prefer them. And I'm just cracking up. I'm like, really? So you're telling me they're your preference over a slim, beautiful woman? They're like, hell yeah. They give head better. They have sex better. I'm just like, okay.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of fellas that are doing this is really saying that because they don't want to admit that they're not getting their preference.
Exactly. Like, how could you prefer that over that? Makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Well, they're not. Yeah. It's kind of like, imagine a guy getting beaten up. Imagine a guy gets beat up, right? And then he said, I actually wanted to get beat up.
Right.
Like, me getting ground and pound was basically a setup for a move I was about to do.
Exactly.
I meant to do that. Kind of like the guy that's riding a motorcycle and falls and said, I meant to do that.
Yeah.
You're that dude. Like, you're just trying to write it off like, oh no, I get any woman I want as long as nobody else really wants her. Like, that's what you're dealing with.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, and they were all ganging up on me. Oh yeah, we prefer the bigger, thicker chicks. Exactly, Wash Gamer platform. You got it.
Yeah. So, well, okay. Next time a guy say that, offer it to him, make him think you're serious, and see if he says no. Like, come on now. Like, I get it. It's something it's a coping mechanism. Look, here's what happens with a lot of guys. I get it. Droughts are a pain. I've been through more than a few. I've been through droughts. By droughts, I mean sexual droughts.
Right.
A time period where the women who I wanted to have sex with did not want to have sex with me, and I could not find a woman that I wanted to have sex with that wanted to have sex with me. These are sometimes, far too often in my case, thanks, Danica, far too often in my case, prolonged experience. And during these times, a lot of guys, what they would do is they smash a fat chick. thinking that she's just going to hold over the time between, me actually getting with a slimmer chick, me actually getting with a woman who looks like Danica Marie or Melody. That's what they're thinking. Like, okay, I'm gonna just smash this fat chick for a couple months, and then I am going to until the pretty chicks comes along.
Exactly.
Not realizing, right quick,
Sorry.
not realizing that chick knows what you're trying to do. And she's out trying to steal sperm. She's out trying to do whatever it takes to hook you. So some of these guys get hooked. They get pregnant, like, oh wow, I used 2 condoms. How did this happen? It's like, you were set up. Like, because they know, like, they're getting the deal. So it happens that way. A lot of times that the droughts are just longer than expected, and they're with the big girl, and then they go to another big girl, and then they go to another big girl. They look at the last year of their lives and say, I have smashed a lot of big girls. I'm going to tell not only others, I'm going to tell myself that I like big girls, just so I don't have to openly admit that I am not smashing the women I want. Listen, I'll be the first person to tell you. Not only am I not, I have never, ever smashed the women that I wanted.
Wait, you?
And, yeah, me.
Oh.
And the reason for that is simple. I'm always going to want what I can't have.
Right.
So even if I was smashing, like Rihanna tomorrow, after a while, I'm going to get tired and say, oh, dang, look at her forehead. I really want to smash Chloe Bailey, And then after a while, I'll get tired of that. And then like, ooh, Lori Harvey looks good. Like, that's just how I am. That's just how most men are wired. You're never going to really smash the woman you want because you're going to want the women you can't smash. So there's that, But a lot of guys, they have this coping mechanism saying, oh, I get the women I want as long as the women I want is the ones nobody else really want. It's ridiculous. And then what's worse is they find themselves competing with each other for fat chicks. All right. So Deacon Dave said, join the Discord server. Yes, I will be there. So please join the Discord server. All right. And number 16 says, there your preference is that what you can only get. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. At least at the time, that's the only thing that they can get. And then they wind up going through so many droughts and stuff like that they just say that they prefer it. They prefer it the way that prisoners prefer prison food. Like,
yeah, but why the mind games? Why tell a pretty girl that has a nice body that the fat women are better than them?
They're saying it on a public platform, Melody. So they're saying that because it's a mating call to fat chicks.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the platform, but I'm pretty sure if this is their core message, this is where fat women go to get their ego stroked.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where men go to hope that the fat women stroke something else. So, that being the case, they're going to, and I'm going to go to movie night right after this, right after this, or maybe at 4 PST. So, yeah, they're basically just saying it to all the fat women that are there.
And then
they don't want to admit to liking you or liking any slim girl because it would upset the fat majority that's listening. I was in a similar situation. Perfect example, right? So the high school I went to had a large Asian population.
Mm-hmm.
And like the junior high and the neighborhood I went to, it was very small. So I didn't really know much about Asian culture. And when I say Asian, I'm talking about all throughout the Oriental diaspora. Didn't really know much about them per se, because most of them just got here. This is their first and second generation here in the States. And I didn't really see them that way. Their girls didn't play outside. Their girls didn't play outside with the black kids who did. So there was a time when I thought that Asian people didn't even have girls. Like they just had boys or something like that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But so even though like they were there, I didn't really see them in the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And went to high school and I was like, okay, some of them are very cute. They're not my preference. My preference is black girls, especially in the 90s. But some of them are really cute. Our school was 49% Asian. And a lot of brothers felt that way. And we also felt that way about Mexicans. But we never said it. And the reason why is because the black girls was a more apt and plentiful sexual source. It was more guaranteed than an Asian source who's foreign. Their parents probably told them some things about black guys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, so, and they had their own men to tend to. So, you know, it's like, okay, you can go out, you could be that dude, you could be that rogue dude and say that I'm going to mess with this Asian girl. But if you do, you have to make it stick. You have to make it stick because no black chick is going to mess with you after that. That was clear. Now, bring this back to your situation. If a man in this stream were to announce, listen, I am into slim girls, like I do, like I do, I put myself in a hole. Now, I'm not here looking for booty, but I put myself in a hole. Like, you know, I can't go out and get a fat chick that I met, you know, as game changer now, because it's like, that's the hole I put myself in. Like,
Right.
you know. So they don't want to put themselves in that hole, basically. Now, they will lose 100% of the fat women if they mention that they like skinny women as well. However, if they say I like big girls as well, then they probably won't lose that many slim women. That's the way that works.
Right.
Just like if I would have said, you know, to Asian girls, I like black women, I probably wouldn't lose many sexual opportunities with the Asian girls. But if I said to black women, I like Asian girls too, I would have lost all of them.
Yeah, you know they don't like that.
Yeah. So, and this was before like the major insecurities started coming out, but they still wanted to hear that they were number one choice, which is fine. So, and they were actually my number one choice, but
And
they wanted
also-
to hear
I'm
that
sorry.
they were like 100%, like, you know, like I only deal with this. I'm like, I don't know, you know.
Well, do you think that's why they're swirling now? Because they know they're not men's number one choice anymore? So they're swirling?
No,
No?
I mean, it's a lot of reasons. I mean, like, so the swirlers aren't actually swirling. They're just trying to convince others to swirl. But why the movement? No, it's just like revenge and just trying to manipulate the mating market to their advantage.
Makes sense.
They figure the more women they could get to swirl, the less competition they have.
True.
All right. So Chowhound says, I'm still with the slim petite women. Absolutely. And now that you stated that, you got to, that's the hill you die on. Like, hey, it's hard for a black man like myself, even though I'm faceless, it's hard for us to say I'm not into big girls.
Yep.
It is very difficult for us to say that because, you know, we lose all the big girl booty. However, I don't want big girl booty, so I don't mind losing it. I do mind losing these sympathizers. When you make that announcement, and fellas take note, you know, when you make that announcement in real life, you do lose the sympathizers. You know, the women who aren't big, but all their sisters are big.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she's not like, how dare you say that? What do you mean, how dare I say that? You're not even big. But they're part of the sisterhood. So they're like, you know, I don't care. You insult one of us, you insult all of us. It's like, but if I said that, if I said I don't like slim girls, you would still be into me. It's weird.
Mhm.
So
It
prepare yourself for that. I just assume like not bring it up.
Yeah, keep your preference to yourself. That's my advice to
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Don't be mode one on that. Yeah.
No.
And they asked that. They asked that, right?
They
They
ask what? What's your preference?
Yeah. I mean, it's at least with me, given my square appearance, and I think you've seen how I dress.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like given my square appearance and stuff, they that's one of the things that they lead with. You know, are you into black girls? Is is one of the things I'm with, and like like, well, I'm into attractive petite women, and if they are black, and that's actually my preference. That's yeah.
They tell my brother that too. They're like, I can tell you're not into black women.
Well, yeah, yeah. So he probably has like a square opinion appearance too. You told me that your brother works out also and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he has a built body. He works out.
yeah. So I think that there's like a certain build or mold of men that they ask that question to,
Yeah, because they think that all high value looking men only want white girls.
which says more about them than me and your brother. It really does. It's like, what kind of question is that? You know?
I asked my brother, I'm like, Alex, why do you only date white girls? Just curious. He was like, that's what approaches me. He was like, black women. That's what I get. I get the white women. I get the Hispanic women. I get the Asian women. The black women don't. They don't really approach them, and if they do, they don't think that I want them. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, that is weird. Like, because they do ask that as you approach them.
Yeah.
Like, so your brother goes to that too. Like, I'll approach a chick and she'll say, "Do I like black girls?" I'm like, isn't that obvious?
Right.
It's
And
like it's like applying for a job at McDonald's and they say, "Do you like working in fast food?" Like,
exactly.
why would you ask that?
And you and my brother about the same complexion, same build. I don't
Okay,
know what
so
it
yeah,
is.
I'm like your brother. I remind you of your brother. Thanks for sharing.
No, not like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean.
if a man was to ever smash, tell him that first. Like, ooh, you're so much like my brother.
No, not like that, GC.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find Danika's book. Oh, here it is. All right. So Danica Marie, she says, just stopping in to show love. Thanks a lot.
Hi,
Oh, by the way,
Tanika.
check out Danica Marie's page. Danica Marie, and I don't know if it's natural or not, and really it's none of my business, but she has like the perfect body type for me. So, and I'm pointing that out because this is one that primarily exists, in fact, almost solely exists in Black women, provided that they properly take care of themselves.
Tanika's
So,
gorgeous. Nice body, natural long hair. Go, Tanika.
but
She's
see, what do you
gorgeous.
mean natural long hair? Part of being a woman is having long hair. You just got to take care of it right. Like, do the stuff that she do, and you will have all of that. But because a lot of dudes will fuck them fat anyway, they not kicking Danica out the bed.
So, question to you,
Oh,
GC.
okay, so she says non-GMO, LOL, no surgery, just vegan diet. Exactly. So with reasonable maintenance, well, vegan, I can't do that. I did the opposite. I did keto, but I can't do vegan. But with reasonable maintenance, you will all have hair and body somewhere within that range. And fellas, don't be afraid to say what you want. If it means that you're gonna have to, turn down or turn away from a lot of fat chicks, so what? Like, really? I mean, read, do something. Listen, I've been through droughts. Like I say, it's not the end of the world. My manhood is not determined by how much sex I have. Yes, there have been times in my adulthood, in my 20s and 30s, to where I went significant amounts of times without sex. Does that mean that I sleep with a fat chick? No. Listen, it's like this. It's like this. Reese's peanut butter cup tastes like crap. Tastes like shit. What do I mean by that? I mean that whatever they put in the Reese's peanut butter cups is not peanut butter.
It's not?
No, peanut butter is not that dry. Go into your cabinet and get a jar of Skippy, and then like look at how creamy that is and how shiny it is and stuff like that. And then open up a Reese's peanut butter cup and see what that dry crap is. That's not peanut butter. I don't know what it is, but it's not peanut butter. And whatever they wrap around it is not chocolate. It tastes like crap, and it is crap. And every year they try to put the Reese's Pieces inside the. Listen, it's all crap. It's all crap. I'm not gonna eat it. It tastes like shit. You were traded off first, right next to the sugar daddies. Come Halloween, when I was a kid, it's crap. All right. Now, why do I say that? I say that because just because something is candy. Hey, then I would trade with you. Give me your Milky Way. I would give you my Reese's. That's how that works.
I like Reese's.
Well, my point is that everybody has a least favorite candy. And just because it's candy, I know what it is. Boston baked beans. Y'all listen to me, and y'all listen to me good, because no kid like Boston baked beans. I don't even know how they stay in business.
No, they are nasty.
Yeah. Boston baked beans. You don't eat Boston baked beans because it's candy. You just don't. The whole purpose of eating candy is because it tastes good and it leaves your mouth happy. You're glad that you ate it, and it has a lingering taste in your mouth. That is why you sleep with women, because it feels good. And the more beautiful a woman is, the better it is. You don't just sleep with them just because they have a vagina, and you don't just eat candy just because it's candy. That's why you don't eat Boston baked beans. You wait until you have a Snickers or a Milky Way or a Jolly Rancher or a Now Later available to you. You don't just eat crap candy just because it's there. That's what sex is. It's candy. It's penis candy. What's the point of eating candy if it's nasty? What is the point in eating candy if it's nasty? And what is the point of sleeping with a woman if she's fat?
Agreed.
You are eating Boston baked beans. You're that weird kid. You are eating a bunch of Boston baked beans all the time, thinking that I got some candy and you don't have none. Yes, the air in my mouth tastes better than Boston baked beans.
Yeah.
And I would rather that.
It's a South thing. It's a Southern thing. That's it.
It is a Southern thing. It's chitlins and dirt. Like in Mississippi, they be eating dirt. They just eat stuff.
Yeah, Sister George told me I'm nothing down south. She said, you go down south, they won't even look your way.
Of course, they're afraid to. It's not that you're not. No, I'm telling you, they're afraid to. They're afraid to look your way because then they have to admit to all of the chitlin women that they like in shape women, just like normal men. They have to admit to all the chitlin crew that that's what they like.
Yep,
now, see, so they're afraid. They're afraid to look your way, approach you, and then you say no, and then all the biggins, they look at them like, oh, you like them small now. Now that I know that, you won't get any of this fat pussy.
They're easy target, exactly. Tim Howard 5.
Yeah, of course they're easy target. They fill up the whole sites. Listen, and that's why I can't do the South. If I'm found dead in the South, know that I was flying over the South on the way to someplace better. Know that I was on my way to Brazil or something like that, and the plane crashed in Mississippi. Like, know that that's what happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean their food is good, but that's why I think they're fat because they're eating all that good Southern food. The collard greens,
Why aren't the men fat? Nope. Nope. Why aren't the men
because
fat? I'm
they
telling you.
they say men's metabolism is faster than women.
No. Then how come every other group got slimmer chicks than the men?
True.
How come Marge Simpson gets with Homer Simpson and Lois Griffin gets with um what's her name? Peter Griffin.
Uh,
No. No, the men is supposed to be the fat one in the relationship. The women are supposed to be like Danica. She said vegan and crap like that. No, it's because men have been conditioned to tolerate less. And it's all because we can't go without pussy for a prolonged period of time.
I don't understand why women are shaped like Rashida Strober. She had a nice body.
She's a vegan too.
Exactly.
I can't do it. I think men need protein for our testosterone and stuff like that. But I do have the discipline to go without sugar and carbs. I have done keto. In fact, I just got off of it June 15th.
Right.
Yeah.
And I walk a lot, so that's why I'm not.
That's nothing. Do more. Like, what the hell?
No, I
Listen,
do.
I don't
I
want
go
to
to the gym.
see. I don't want to see a full-on six-pack, but I want to see the ghostly outline. And I'm not examining your body like that, but I'm just saying, like, dude, don't be one of those people. You sound like a 78-year-old woman. I walk. What kind of crap is
I
that?
wasn't
You were
finished.
born in the 90s. You're not in your 90s.
I
My
wasn't
grandma
finished.
walk.
I
Like a
wasn't
couple of
finished.
months ago, I had to put a handrail up. My grandma walk. What kind of crap is that?
I
I
wasn't
walk.
finished.
No. Get a ponytail. Every time I
Oh
go to the
God.
gym, it's a bunch of white chicks in the treadmills and stuff. And they be like hitting that stair thing like all day. Because like I do 30 minutes on the treadmill and then I do 30 minutes resistance. But after it's really like an hour and some change.
I was gonna say I do an
So
hour on the treadmill and I do the stairs for like an
yeah,
hour.
but they still be on. They still be on the stair thing. But you say you walk. No,
I
no,
wasn't
do more.
finished what I was saying. You got triggered when I
Okay,
said
my
that.
bad.
I was saying I walk and I do a lot of cardio at the gym. I do need to start lifting though. I was gonna ask Chantel Simone about the lifting because I know she's a trainer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask her about it, but I do a lot of cardio in the gym. Like I do the stairs, I do what do you call that? I do it the thing for my abs. I do that machine. You know, I do the thing when you stand on your side sideways and you come up. I do a lot of that.
Okay, well do
I
more
do
of
a
that
row.
stuff.
Yeah, I
I
do
don't know
a
what
row.
women have to do, but do it.
Yeah, but I do want a six pack. Not
No,
gonna
the
lie.
ghostly outline of it. Don't be one of those She-Hulk chicks, like with a well-defined six-pack and stuff. I don't. To me, that's nasty. Fellas,
Danica, I'm
y'all like
trying to
that?
look like you, Danica. Trying to get like you.
Oh, well, there you go. Go for Danica. Like,
I'm going for Danica's body. Danica got the six pack.
Yeah, well, yeah, do what she do. Juices and berries. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever she do that. You know how like people follow pro golfers? Just,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
she
So
has a perfect body, and I like Chantel Simone's body too.
oh yeah.
She do a lot of lifting, so I'm gonna talk to her about that.
Okay, well there you go. Yeah, you have her email and stuff.
Yeah,
But
so I'm gonna hit her up.
okay.
But
Uh
yeah, you're funny, GC.
but yeah, speaking of which, so Danica Marie, thanks a lot. The name of the book is
Thanks, Danica.
Submission is Not the Enemy, a key factor to a healthy relationship. So
Yeah, it's a great book. Make sure you guys get it. Support.
yeah.
And go subscribe to Danica Marie Dope Discussions.
Now, would her husband had gotten with her if he was busy with some fat ass chick, like
No,
at the time? Like
no.
he would have just been content, like with fat woman sex, And it's not even sex. I'm telling you, these guys be having their penis between their thighs, and they think it's a vagina.
And it's the sweat that makes it wet.
Yeah, but yeah, they're really like putting their penis on thigh meat and vagina sweat or and thigh sweat. I'm telling, because how do you get it there? Listen, it's sick, and like I told you, I watched it. I was like, how are these guys in the penis or in the vagina? It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
really gross.
yeah. Anyway, let me put the link out there. All right, so today's movie, speaking of attractive women, is Video Girls with Megan Good.
Ooh,
So
Megan Good.
yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay. Oh no, someone said he pinned it up. All right, so perfect. Oh, somebody said her husband got one. Well, I mean, he put in the work with her. That's right. He is a trainer, so he put in the work with her. All right. So, but he didn't settle. That's the thing. Don't settle unless you're a fat dude yourself. You know, there's
Fellas, don't
you know.
settle. Have some standards, because it makes it hard for women like me, beautiful women or pretty or cute women who's looking for a husband. When you settle, it's hard because then you leave us by ourselves because you're settling with fat women.
Oh, all right. With that, I want to thank the members. I want to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And remember that this is Game Changer 00100. I'll be at movie night right now. Peace.
Peace.